It's official. The New York Knicks have just been robbed of a key player who they wanted to bring into their team as their potential 15th man, and it's now confirmed who the Knicks will likely be bringing in as the newest New York Knick alongside Delon Wright, who was acquired in a trade. And we're going to break down what all of this means for the New York Knicks as their next signing has been basically confirmed as their hand got forced. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here. And guys, if you enjoy all things New York Knicks, make sure to subscribe to this channel. If you're part of that 67% who is not subscribed and you're watching these videos, you're enjoying them, you're liking the live streams, you're liking the trade updates, the free agency rumors, the buyout market rumors, the updates on injuries and how the Knicks are doing and everything about the New York Knicks, make sure to subscribe. But let's jump into this. The New York Knicks just lost a potential key player for their team as the Knicks, well, they were known to be scouring the buyout market already in order to find that 15th man on their team who would not be a 15th man in the rotation, who would be a guy who had a chance to break into the New York Knicks rotation. And one of their key players, one of their prospects who they were really, really high on he's just been taken away from the Knicks as the Knicks are just now the victims of a rug pull as the Philadelphia 76ers, according to Shams Charania, are signing Chuma Okeke to a 10-day contract out of the NBA G League's Westchester Knicks. And this is going to have a huge implication on the New York Knicks as well, guys. Okeke was someone that the Knicks loved. He was balling out on the Westchester Knicks, and he was someone the Knicks were looking heavily into bringing onto the team for the remainder of the season. The Knicks have one open contract spot left. They have one spot on their roster, and on March 1st, the prorated salary means they can sign anyone they want, and they won't have to worry about going towards that second apron. If you guys don't know what the second apron is, essentially it just causes a bunch of restrictions for you. And the Knicks, they're not even allowed to go in it because of an exception brought on by the Mikal Bridges trade. So obviously it was worth it to not be able to sign a 15th guy until March 1st. With their money, with their financial situation right now, it's one of the reasons why I wanted the Knicks to trade Jericho Sims for no one for a protected second-round pick so they could get cap space in return. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. The Knicks acquired Delon Wright instead, who is a very, very talented defender who we should add. I'm not trying to trash Delon Wright at all. I just want to make that very clear. But the New York Knicks do lose out on a guy who they had a ton of interest in Chuma Okeke, who played for their G League team, who put up 16 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists with a player impact rating of 12.6. And I mean, he shot well from the field, around in the 40s from the field, 30s from mid-high 30s from three-point range. Excellent defense. The man has been a phenomenal player in the NBA G League, and the New York Knicks had a lot of interest in bringing him up, but now they will not be able to, at least for a little bit, as the Philadelphia 76ers have poached Okeke away, bringing him on to the 76ers. And I'll be honest, I think Chuma is going to find his way to a full-time role in Philadelphia, to where the New York Knicks will not be able to bring him in. Now, the 76ers, they were really shooting for the stars, clearly, throughout this trade deadline. With a guy like Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey on your team, you have 2 All-Stars and the corpse of one in Paul George. And outside of that, a lot of their role players disappointed this year. Some of them were great. I mean, Gershon Yabusele was a wonderful surprise who the 76ers opted not to trade because how much they like him and they want to bring him back long term. So the 76ers really shot for the stars and went hunting on the Knicks G League team looking for scraps, as well the New York Knicks too. That being said, Okeke is no scrap. He is clearly an NBA level player, and he's proven that in the NBA G League this season. And I truly think the Knicks had a really, really difficult decision to make because they had Chuma Okeke, who they certainly wanted to bring up, but there was someone else who they also had interest in, which we'll get into 1 minute. But Okeke, for his career, put up 6 points per game, 4 rebounds, and 1.5 assists at the NBA level. His field goal and three-point percentage were low, but his defense was good, and a lot of the reason why his shooting percentages was low is because he had an inconsistent role and was spending a lot of his time injured. Okeke's battled a ton of injuries, and it's why he's been out of the NBA. I'm now also learning it's Okeke, not Okeke, so I'm going to start calling him Chuma Okeke now that I'm reading the pronunciation, which I probably should have done months ago when the Knicks signed him, but here we are. Look, Okeke's a very, very good player. Don't let these numbers fool you. He's better than what he looks, and I really wanted him to go on the Knicks because I thought he was going to fit perfectly. However, he now goes to Philadelphia on a 10-day deal, and as I said, I imagine he will get a bigger contract from there, which forces the Knicks' hand, and they will now be picking up the star of their G League team in TJ Warren. Warren's a bit of a wonkier fit on any team than Okeke because he's not a straight-up sharpshooter the way that Okeke can be, along with playing elite defense. TJ Warren is a shot creator. He's 6'8". He's a very talented player, clearly shown in the G League. In his first taste of G League basketball, he's putting up 25 points, 6 rebounds, and 3.5 assists. Player impact rating of 13.8. The man's shooting well from the field at over 50% and shooting around 36% from deep. So it is important to note that TJ Warren has been having a better season than Chuma has, but it is something to think about that Chuma may have fit better than Warren, who now steps on to a New York Knicks team, or will be stepping on to a New York Knicks team that is in dire need of a forward/wing who could score the ball. So Warren does fit well here, and I do believe Warren was the favorite for this role. By everything the Knicks seem to indicate, it was TJ Warren's job to lose, and that's still the case. Now, yes, there are external options the Knicks can go after, such as a Marcus Morris or someone like that, and depending on who else hits the buyout market. But as of right now, it appears that TJ Warren will most likely be getting that role on March 1st. He will get that Knicks contract and sign with them unless a team decides to sign him first. Warren's not just going to wait around for the New York Knicks. If he gets a chance to get back into NBA basketball, he's going to do it. And again, this is why trading Jericho Sims for nobody could have been a good move, because they would have been able to sign someone and then still gotten that prorated salary on March 1st, and it felt like that was a smarter move than what Leon Rose did. However, if they trust Delon Wright, I'm going to trust Leon Rose because Leon Rose is hardly wrong. Most of the moves he's made have been hits, so I'm going to trust in Leon Rose first. So that's what I have to say on that front. But look, with TJ Warren and all this is an excellent decision for the Knicks or excellent situation for the Knicks where they don't really have to make a tough decision now, where now their hand is forced. They have to go for TJ Warren, someone who the Sixers could have signed him instead and went with Okeke, kind of showing my point that I had where Okeke just slides in as an easier fit. But Warren likely will be signing with the New York Knicks in less than a month on that veteran minimum prorated salary, which will be helpful for the Knicks as they will have their 15-man roster by then, which will give a lot of insight into where the Knicks are going from here. Warren, since getting injured and missing an entire season, really 2 entire seasons of action, did show a lot. I mean, he came back and he was not the same player he once was. I mean, he comes back, signs with Brooklyn, doesn't really play well there, and then ends up getting traded back to Phoenix, where he played the majority of his career and started his career, where again, he couldn't really find consistency before going unsigned for the majority of last season until the Minnesota Timberwolves brought him in on that prorated veteran minimum salary, I might add, to play for them. But he only played 11 games, getting 11.4 minutes per game in the games that he did show up in. And I mean, his numbers weren't great. I mean, his three-point percentage was pretty atrocious, but outside of that, he did show a little bit, and he's now shown that he wants to be back and deserves to be back in the NBA, and that role is going to most likely come with the New York Knicks, and I think that's a good thing. However, I do think it's annoying the Knicks did end up losing one of their key guys to the Philadelphia 76ers, but there's nothing you can do about it. Maybe they don't keep Okeke around and they waive him and Chuma just goes back to the Westchester Knicks, which is what he would do if he gets waived off of the 76ers or just doesn't get re-signed after his 10-day contract. But as I said, I expect the 76ers to make a bit of a run, be a play-in team potential, probably, and they'll want Okeke around for that because he gives them perimeter defense. And, well, the 76ers could use a little bit more of that, especially, I mean, now having Quentin Grimes, they're really stacking up this defense well. So we'll see how that works out for Philly. But for me and the New York Knicks fans all over, it does suck to lose him. However, now their hand is forced. It is going to be TJ Warren unless he signs with someone else. So get ready for a TJ Warren video next month when the New York Knicks sign him or someone else over the Knicks decide to sign on March 1st. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Knicks.